Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to talk about my long-term review of the Sage Dual Boiler. So let's start with the pros of the machine. Now obviously the first one for me is the price. This is literally the entry step into a dual boiler at $12.50. That's Great British pounds, that's UK. What I would say is get the Dynamic Duo if you're going to get it. That's roughly about £50 extra, which comes with the Smart Grinder Pro, but you can sell that for more money than the £50 extra, so brings your machine down. These also on offer sometimes as well, so I definitely look to try and get an offer if you can. Secondly, we'd look at the temperature stability. This has a bit of a mix of thermo block stuff going on. There's other videos out there which can basically show temperature stability and thermal goodness much better than I can ever explain it. But basically, especially for the money, it does a good job. Whatever temperature you set this machine at, it does a pretty good job of staying there and consistently pumping out shot after shot at that temperature. So next, temperature increments. So we can go all the way from 88 or 89, I believe it is, all the way up to 96. So you've got one step increments. You can also do what I do, which is pull the shot completely on pre-infusion. I'll link a video above for that. If you're someone who likes lighter roasts, you want lower bar shots without having to dive into the machine and potentially void your warranty adjusting the OPV. I definitely recommend you check that video out because it definitely works. Gives you great shots, really brings the machine up to another level, I believe, without having to do any modifications. Next, you've got all your different functions within this menu. So you've got shots by volume, shots by time. We've got an auto start function, so if you want to set it to start at 6 in the morning and you come down from getting dressed at 15:15, you've had 15 minutes, this machine will be nice and warm, it'll be ready to go. It has a lovely, quite good automated clean cycle I like. So basically, rather than you having to manually keep doing back flushes, if you want to do like a cycle and walk away, it has a countdown time and you can just basically let it do its thing and it'll do a good back flush cycle and you can crack on and do something else while that runs. And then you also obviously set the clock, which is good for the auto start. So obviously you need to set your time right so it knows when to turn on. Another great thing I love is this is probably nothing really much to do with the this machine itself, but coming from a Gadget Classic where the steam was on like a knob you turn, I much prefer this with a just quick on and off. You know you're getting full pressure, on, off. There's no messing about. You know you're getting what you want every single time, and I think maybe it was just me, but I think with the Gadget Classic there was definitely times where I wasn't turning the knob enough or too much, and then you're trying to turn it off because you turned it open too much and you're getting too much air, and yeah, it's just a mess. So I hated that. Startup time. Now I know someone who's very lucky to own a Lamborghini GS3. That thing needs about 40 minutes really, 30-40 minutes to get fully hot. This guy here, 7 to 10 minutes, you are ready to go. Everything's fully warmed. No issues pulling shots at that. You could probably get away with 5 minutes if you really needed to, but 7 to 10 is the ideal, and that's a real plus because you really, there's nothing worse than wanting a coffee and having to wait half an hour because you need it to turn on and warm up, and that's just, for me, that was another really strong point about this, especially in the morning when you want that morning espresso. You don't want to be waiting around super ages, and with this guy, obviously you can do the auto start, so it's definitely ready to go when you come down. Also with these are, I think the dual boiler from Sage or Breville originally is about 10 years old or so now, so there's a fantastic community out there. If you do have any issues or there is some of the modifications you want to do, which I'll talk about in a minute, there's plenty of help out there. I mean, I've seen people, these have a vibration pump in them, which is a bit cheaper. There's people who've transformed these and put a rotary pump in them. There are people who obviously do the Slayer mod. So with that, you basically turn your water spigot tap, which is under here, so that you block off because you can't use it, so no hot water, and basically you turn it into a flow control. So this dial here, you'll adjust that and that will adjust your flow here. I've used a dual boiler with it on. It's a bit hit and miss. You need to really mark out on the side with tape or something where you need, because it's very, very finicky. You go a little bit too much and all of a sudden you've shot a bar and a half past. So it's not, obviously it's an at-home modification, so it's not the ideal, but it does work. As I say, I much prefer the pre-infusion mod. For me, I find that it's less hassle and almost as consistent. So I think that wraps up the good points. Let's talk about the things I don't like. So firstly, there's a lot of people who I think do have issues with these. You do get a 2-year warranty from Sage or from Breville. For me now, this machine's about 10 months old. I've had 2 or 3 minor gremlins where I would flip the lever up for steam and I got absolutely nothing, as if the machine wasn't even on. So for that, it was a quick power on, power off, and it did fix it. But it does show that with all of this advanced circuitry you've got in there, there is some issues for gremlins and that. Now, how this machine will fare after 2 years, I have to be honest, if I didn't get a fair few years longer out of it, I would be a little bit disappointed for the price. But for now, I can say that it's not bad at all. Shut that lid. So another thing I would like a little bit more of is steam pressure. I find that some people have said, oh, for beginners it's great because it's longer to work with and it makes steaming milk easier. I actually prefer a harder blast pressure, less time to add the milk and then more time to work it. This is a bit of a halfway house, so I would like more pressure. It's a negative for me. I also find the tips in this, the 3-tip, even with taking this off, cleaning it it seems to always get blocked. I mean, they do include a little tool there to unblock it, but I just find it annoying that it keeps blocking. And also, this is probably Sage's best effort at a prosumer machine. So really, it's kind of still consumer focused. I mean, in here, this is where you can add water rather than taking the back out and adding water. And it has on the top here, fill with cold water only, do not fill with milk. So that really is something which is not, a prosumer machine, a Lelit, something like that, Bianca or Lamazocco is definitely not going to be writing anything like that on it. It does have some tips in here though: clean, change your filters, descaling, so that's quite nice. Obviously all of those, the filters manual, but as I've said, the cleaning and the descale are all automated process. I haven't done a descale yet because I use filtered water, so there's no need for me to do it. I'm not using tap water and blocking the machine up with scale, so that's one thing I do. Also do regular back flushes as well. And also another negative point, because it is quite consumer focused, parts are quite hard to get hold of, although I do believe the EU regs are changing on that, so they will have to make the parts available. But if you ever do take the lid off, I haven't taken the lid off mine, but obviously other videos you can see people have taken it off, and it's a bit of a mess in there. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of electronics on the bottom of this lid. There's a lot going on there, and for anyone who's not technologically minded or isn't massively comfortable, they're not going to open it up and start playing about. And obviously if you want to adjust the OPV, you've got to take the lid off. Another negative point, the OPV is not set correctly. I know this industry standard is 9 bar. These are set to 10.5 bar, so they're not correct. So you've either got to do a pre-infusion mod or lift the lid, which is not ideal. And then I suppose that the last point is, it'd be nice if they included a bottomless portafilter. Now, obviously, the price, I understand they may have to add a few more pounds to the price if you were to get a bottomless portafilter, but I do think that would be worth it. I'll tell you what, if you get rid of this useless thing, which is not even the correct size, and added a portafilter for an extra 20 quid, a bottomless one, I'd definitely be happier with that, because they give you baskets, they give you some cleaning tablets, they give you a blind basket as well. It's a rubber one, but it does do the job, so that's fantastic. And apart from that, I don't really think I can think of anything else negative. So to sum up, would I recommend you buying a Sage dual boiler? Well, if you're someone who's on a bit of a budget and you make quite a lot of milky drinks, then definitely I would say get one. It is a great machine for the price. You've got the options to steam quite a lot of milky drinks and pull espresso at the same time before it runs out. I think I've done 4 back-to-back drinks and it no problem. I mean, I think it may struggle a little bit more. We're not a cafe, but it can do a fair few drinks. I think it looks pretty good. There's limitations because of the cost, like this bit here, that's obviously plastic made to look metal. This is all thin coated stainless rather than solid stainless. but that all comes at a cost, and you can't have everything for the price. I've mentioned a few negatives and a few drawbacks, but I guess it all comes down to, in my opinion, the budget you've got. If you're someone who's got, say, £2,000 top line budget, and that's to include your grinder, then definitely I'd say get this guy, 1,200 quid, £800 on your grinder, you all spent. But if you say had £3,000 and that's what you wanted to spend, then I'd maybe say, get something like the Lilith Bianca. You've got the flow control on that. You've also got the ability to change the OPV without having to get inside the machine, which is fantastic. And then you'd still have £1,000 left for your grinder. So really it comes down to budget. For me, if I was going to take my personal experience, I probably do wish now that I had gone for the Bianca, only because I find myself wanting to experiment a little bit more with lighter roasts, maybe do some flow control stuff, maybe do some OPV, messing about basically. I want to experiment a bit, but if you don't want to do that, then this machine's absolutely grand and it's going to suit you fine. And I really do like a lot of the features about it, especially for the money. There's nothing else on the market that does as much feature packed for the money as this guy. And it doesn't look terrible either. Just to say, I have obviously changed the portafilter, I've added a shot mirror and a few other bits, so those were all extra costs, but again, not too pricey. So yeah, I think that one wraps it up, guys. Great machine, great value for money. And if you've got any questions or there's anything you want to share or you want to ask, drop it down in the comments. I'll get back to you guys. Like and subscribe, please. Plenty more coffee content stuff coming, along with some cycling and running stuff. I'm going to get into that. And hope you guys have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next one.